The Central Arizona Fire and Medical Authority, or CAFMA, has a lot of ground to cover.
We cover 369 square miles of Yavapai County.
Fire Chief Scott Freitag says under Arizona state law, CAFMA is not allowed to operate its own ambulances. So for about 8 years, they've worked with Lifeline Ambulance, who had an ambulance shortage but added more units in the past year.
But they're all, or mainly, basic life support or EMT level. So probably 95% of the time, we are getting a basic life support unit, even when the call is for advanced life support or advanced care.
Freitag says advanced life support calls require a paramedic, but adds that Lifeline Ambulance can't always provide one, so CAFMA sends its own paramedic. John Valentine with Lifeline Ambulance says part of the problem is a nationwide shortage of paramedics that started before the pandemic and has hit Arizona.
We would love to put a paramedic on every truck and provide that on every call.
But says every 911 call does not require a paramedic.
So the state requires that you have at least 2 EMTs or an EMT or paramedic or 2 paramedics on the unit at all times. We've chosen to not really complain about the problem, but really try to find a solution to the problem.
Valentine says the company has started a program called Earn While You Learn that trains civilians as EMTs. They also are training about a dozen paramedics that are about to graduate. Lifeline Ambulance was the only provider in the area for a while, but CAFMA recently began working with Priority Ambulance. However, they also are struggling with the nationwide paramedic shortage. CAFMA says both companies get paid by the patient or their insurance provider, even when a CAFMA paramedic is sent. So CAFMA has billed a Lifeline Ambulance with over $618,000 for the past 5 months for providing their own paramedic services on some of those calls.
So this company, CAFMA, do they have any solution to this?
Well, CAFMA is hoping to cut ties with Lifeline Ambulance if they get the certification from the state. That way they can run their own ambulances and use their own paramedic and EMTs. And they said that this will cut down on response times and streamline the entire process. But they do still plan to work with Priority Ambulance as they have a contract with them. They were never under contract with the other line of ambulances.
Yeah, it's something, rural areas are struggling with, and something we've heard our Phoenix Fire Department struggle with as well. It's a resource issue with the population exploding here. Casey, thanks for that tonight.